Hello traders, it's Samurai Trader here. Welcome to session 146. In today's session we're going to be viewing a live trading session of where I was trading the ES, and I think in this particular one I had 4 out of 4. So I'm going to be walking you through step by step my thinking, why I took the trades, and probably give you a hopefully a number of other tips and ideas that you can use. Now I call this the $1,000 a day challenge, and it depends how much a day you're after, and I'll give you a general guide of what I target and how I target. If 1,000 a day is not enough, you simply increase your position size. Now also you can apply the exact same setups to any time frame, any market, whether it be futures, forex, or stocks. This is a screenshot from one of Al Brooks slides in one of his presentations, and as he says here, some great scalpers win 90% of the time and make a lot of money, and that's what I do. I like to get in, get out, and get paid, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, as I mentioned, in today's session we're going to be trading, or Warren was trading, the ES. Now money management is critical. In fact, we are risk managers. Number one, we are risk managers. That is, we need to protect our capital. Now what I recommend for all new traders, you start on the MES, the micro, where it's $5 a point or $1.25 a tick, and then advance to the big contract. And as you'll see, I'll run through the funds that you require, and you can get going with as little as $400 trading the micro. Don't cut corners, traders, because traders just keep wondering why they keep blowing their accounts. And what actually happens is the muscle memory you create each time you blow an account, you blow in the counts, you make mistakes, etc. You're also building up a lack of self-confidence when it comes to your trading. That is negativity when it comes to your trading. So it's critical you follow, I'm rambling a bit here, but it's critical you follow the money management rules. As always, traders, there is a risk in trading. Please don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. Now, very quick advertisement on a couple of things. If you haven't already requested my ebook, The Truth About Day Trading, please go over the description link below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can be kept up to date with all of my latest videos. Even better still, become a member. For $297 you get everything you're about to see on the screen when I get down there and play back the recording. There's hundreds of hours of trading videos. There's over 15 of the world's best day trading strategies. You be the judge, by the way, when I get to the live trading in a moment. There's free indicators, and even if I don't have coded indicators for your trading platform, whichever one you're using, I give you the settings so you can set up just about every one of my indicators on virtually any trading platform. Make no mistake, traders, for $297 this is the last program you'll ever need to invest in, and there are literally dozens of modules. Don't worry if you want to keep it simple. In my training I show you which strategies to start with. In fact, I recommend you only trade 2 setups when you first start. Very important. And on top of that, as a bonus, I'm throwing in, you can attend 8 of my live and recorded, if you can't make the live sessions, 8 live and recorded 2-hour private coaching sessions. So every Tuesday and Wednesday evening, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I run 2-hour coaching sessions where I'm teaching traders how to trade. That is, we're looking at everything from psychology through to the setups themselves and what's happening on the live charts. And so that's included, and you have lifetime access to my program. End of advertisement. Perhaps a little bit longer what I wanted, but it's important that you know what's available. Okay, what you're about to see is I'm going to be trading on Renko charts. Tick charts and Renko charts are my favorite. Okay, so what is important that you realize you can trade with any type of charts. I love Renko because they smooth out price action, and I also love tick charts. So won't get too much into that now because I want to be quick. We've got a lot to cover. Now first of all, I look at scalping like a sparrow. Okay, gets in and gets out. Very similar to what I want to do. I don't like to generally hold on any more than about 10 minutes in a trade. I really start to get itchy feet. Okay, I want to get in, get out, get paid. Now the session we're going to be looking at today, now we've actually got the date, and I always forget to turn the date off. So this is from last week, and if you think it's isolated, I'll quickly show you each day's trading just on a screenshot, but we are going to play back this recording, and I've got the recordings on each one of these other sessions. Not entirely true. I didn't record this morning's, or a trader just fired off a few minutes ago, well, half an hour ago. But so I'll just show you this because traders can say, oh, you're just picking random days, but what you'll see, traders, is the dates. This is consistent, but I want you to understand the logic. What can you see here, traders? I'm trading in the direction of a trend, or I'm taking very high probability reversal trades. Now I've been trading for over 28 years. Okay, so I recommend for all new traders, you do not trade reversals initially. You stick with the trend trades, and there's a ton of them every day on virtually every market. So here this day here was 4 out of 4. That was 6 out of 6. This was 10 for 7. There are actually 3 mistakes I made just here, and I just look, what was I thinking? I paid the price down here. I was really a couple of silly trades, but anyway, it was still a great session. Here, this is early morning, right, my time. This is actually Monday afternoon, Monday the 1st of December. This is what I call the New York close. Okay, now as you're about to see, I have a target POQ I believe in, and that works for me. Okay, so here I just had 3 and I hit my target, and I'll talk about the entries for you. Okay, so none of this how I trade, and for an example, this one here was quite slow. When I say quite slow, crumbs, that actually went for over 30 minutes, this particular trade. But this is what I call grinding. So this is about half an hour ago from when I'm trading. Now this, by the way, is midnight Central Standard Time. Now the market's open at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sorry, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern. They close for an hour, then reopen. Now it doesn't matter really which or what time you trade. For an example, when the market first opens, it's called the Globex session. There's some great trading as well. You've got no problems, and if you want to trade 100 contracts at a time after hours on the ES, I mean, some markets are quite what we call thinly traded, but for most, look, the ES gold is huge volume nowadays. Look, you got the currency futures can be a little slow, but I won't get too much into that right now. But what I just wanted to show you is the setups we see each and every day, and you can turn the alerts on, where you can have an alert. Now I've only got the alerts for NinjaTrader, but once you understand the logic, okay, now I get it. They're very rules based. Now if you haven't seen my video, and stay with me even if you have been watching my videos, traders, it's important because it's the foundation that makes the difference. It really is. If you want to earn the big bucks, you've got to be willing to do the things that losing traders won't do. So in the movie Moneyball, they talk about, rather than going for home runs, just get on base, and then the dollars will look after themselves. Now with what I'm about to show you, you need between, if you're going to trade the big contract, I'll show you an option where you can do it with as little as 4,000, but you need between 4 and 6.2, or 400 and 6 or 625 if you're going to start with the micro. But if you start with the micro and you go for, what is it, $32 a day, within 12 weeks potentially you've got there $7,000 you can now roll over and start trading the big contract. Now if you're trading this is a 5% return per day, 26 ticks a day, and I'm going to say only 26 ticks just because of the amount of setups that we have. Now if you trade this account here, I'm allowing up to a 10 tick stop loss, which is really as large as you really need. And if you started off with that, and so remember, after what was it, 12 weeks, you've now got the funds. Within 10 weeks, there's your 10 grand a week, 10,000 a week potential income, and your account size is 48,000 for the young guns that want their million a year within 13 weeks. Now the way the compound, and by the way, you can download this compound sheet. If you look down below in the description link on YouTube, you'll see there's a thing there you can download this, and I've even got a training video where I'm training you how to use it correctly. But how it works is you only start trading a second contract each time you double your money. You're using the market's money. So this is not one of these BS compounding tables. This is based upon when you've double your money, you add another contract each time you double. So can you do it faster? Absolutely. For an example, here you could start with 4,000, and if you go for 200 a day, that's only three trades net compared to say 5 trades net. But then what you can actually do, if you're a young gun, you might then say, you know what, Ray's going to show me how to start with a smaller account. I'm going to go for the same 5 trades a day. Look where you are in 7 weeks, potentially nearly 12,000 a week. Look where you are in 9 weeks, 25,000 a week potentially on only 5 scalps a day. Now the question of course always is, well, how do I do that? And of course you're about to see that in a moment. Now what if you have burnt your account a number of times, lacking self-confidence? You need to redevelop. You need to develop a belief, that is, redevelop that yes, I can do this. And so we start with just a couple of trades a day. And here, if you would just go for $15 a day, maybe you're a retiree or you're working full-time, you just want to trade very, and you're part-time, you usually find I'm in and out within an hour. But down here, 24 weeks, you've now got the funds to roll over and start trading the big contract. And then if you still just plod along, basically a couple of trades a day, look where you are in 23 weeks, 6,000 a week income, 28, you're trading 15 contracts, 10,000 a week, potentially legal. I've got to say potentially. This is a true potential if you learn how to trade correctly. Now what are some of the essentials? Traders, all of these, and this is where a lot of traders close their eyes. I don't want to hear about this, and it ain't rocket science. It truly isn't. We've got to know where our pivot levels are, because all of these, open, high, low and close, major EMAs, swing highs, and the current day's high and low, these plot automatically on your charts, and these are major support resistance levels, as well as bounce points. So we tend to bounce off these levels every single day. So let's now play back the replay, and there's no voiceover because all I do is hit replay because I want to think. So I'm not talking, so well, you're going to hear me talk as I give you where are we here, running commentary, and I'll speed it up a little bit too at points, because otherwise we're going to be here for 25 minutes. So I'd usually just start the recording when I'm recording. Now first of all, my target there is 325 per contract traded. So I'm trading 10 lots. Now down here, see this is the current day's low. Now I will go for between 8 and 10 ticks, and sometimes more, if I've got a major support resistance level in front of me. Do we always reach it? No. And that's why we also will consider going to break even at points. What you'll notice here is my stop loss is 1 tick above the swing high just there. Now to trade with a $4,000 account, see the arrow there, that's my 16H. Okay, that identifies and for members watching, you have that offset by 0, by the way. So I've had it coded only for NinjaTrader, but for those that have or don't have NT8, I tell you how that works and how you can replicate it on your own charts. One of my trade secrets after 28 years, but you can place your stop using the 16H, because usually when we've got a 16H, we've got momentum. Okay, so here we can see this is a 200 EMA and an 89 EMA. Now indicators, most of them are lagging, however they give us price direction, and virtually every single indicator out there is a derivative of price. However, indicators can make a massive difference to our trading. So let me just move this along a wee bit. So I'm on the way down. Now I'm about to go to, as you can see here, break even. Now what you'll see me do sometimes, go to break even, I'm not quite where I want to be and I might go back up, but one thing I never do is break my money management rules, as far as you never move your stop hoping the price will reverse. That is, I'll take it there, up there, that's the maximum risk I'm willing to risk, unless I use the 16H for my stop. So we're on the way down now here. Just notice there, and I'm pointing this low out. Now we may punch through this low, and you'll usually, unless I'm already making lower lows and lower highs, depending of course if going short or long, you'll quite often see me front run, and this is called front running. Front running is where I'm coming down to this level, but I'm 1 or 2 ticks above this swing, because other professional traders will sometimes run it down and then run it back up again. So we'll get out before the amateurs will probably be down here or under here. Now if I feel I've got momentum, I will push my target down below. For an example, see here how we're stair-stepping down. So usually when we hit the low or the high of day, we'll punch through by a few ticks at least. Now quite often you'll also see me grab this, because I'm not going to be willing to give all of that back. So sometimes if we keep tagging my target and I don't get filled, I will then sometimes drop it back down and lock more in. Now I've gone to break even. Break even is my entry price, and this, by the way, for members watching, this is a bet the farm trade. A bet the farm trade is when we have a deep pullback, traders, very high probability setup. Now you can see what I've done here. I'm locking some profit in because I'm not going to give all of that back. I'm not willing to give that back, and there we actually tick down. I'm just going to move this along. How far did we go through this? Now as we go through this, I'm also looking at a higher time frame. That is, I like to trade in the direction of a higher time frame. So this is what I call my EC, my entry chart, and I have an anchor chart 1 and an anchor chart 2. Now why do I do that? Well, trading in the direction of a higher time frame, and if you have divergence on the higher time frame, it's important. For an example, this is just something I've got for a training session in the morning, and this is on the 1 tick ES, which I've just fired off a trade. Now this is a screenshot from a couple of hours ago. So you can see here that just some various setups here to discuss with members. Okay, so this is my entry chart, but then above my entry, so I've got multiple screens, and you really need to have 2 screens. I've then got my anchor chart 1 and my anchor chart 2. I really want to have my anchor chart 1 expanded 90% of the time, and see my trade line, see that black line, and it turns on a dime. This within itself, traders, is worth a small fortune to a trader, because look at that and look at this on your higher time frame. Now see the arrows, it's turned on the second candle here, but note here it hasn't turned, and see over here it smooths out price action even more. and in fact we call it a 13-16. You can just trade in the direction of those lines. Okay, but the main thing I wanted to get to you just here, really get the point I want to get across, and that's just the simple MACD I've modified, and I'll also use it just to confirm reversal points. And once again, you don't have to use that. You want to use that though, because it kicks butt. And you can see the version of it here when I get a pullback and a continuation in the direction. Now you can look at this, by the way, as a one tick. Can you really trade a one tick ES? Oh, absolutely, but only in the Globex session. Forget it. And that's forget it during the New York session, and that's why your account size will vary at times. What do we got there? Oh, this is just the, oh no, back on the recording. Sorry, I thought I was on the charts here. So we've gone along here. Let me just move this along. So I think if I remember correctly, I had a 1D. See the distance from there to there? This is like a big picture over a wide area, a divergence trade, I think, if I remember correctly. So we'll see in a moment. You'll quite often then see I put a buy, in this case a buy stop order, if it, and I'm pretty certain I had one here. Now 1 day is a long time in day trading, let alone last Tuesday. Okay, so I've got a feeling I went long here for a scalp. Now see how your major EMAs are rolling over. Don't know what happened then, but see how your major EMAs are rolling over. In going long here for a counter trend trade, you'll nearly always see me cover up here, because usually we'll bounce. And let's just move this along to hurry, and there it is there. Now what I'm just pointing out here is on my ATM, I've just got an, on this particular template, I just had an 8 tick target with an 8 tick stop. Now I've increased my stop there to 10 ticks, so it was down below, but see the arrows. Now remember with the 16H, if you took it there and had your stop there, I know you still would have been okay there. You can actually get away with a tighter stop with trend, by the way, and let me clarify that, with trend, not for counter trend trades. If I have a reversal trade, I wait for longer before I take the trade. And see where I put my order there, and we got filled right to the tick. That's because I'm waiting for something on the higher time frame. Totally rules based. It gives me on the chart the figure, so I know exactly where to enter. Now notice here my target is above the major EMA, which is in a downtrend. Now you'll usually see me cover up here. You know, look, sometimes I get in, I pick up 2 ticks, sometimes I'll pick up 10 ticks. It just varies, but I'll either go to break even when I hit these major EMAs, or I cover, exit the trade. And let's just move this up a little bit. Okay, so here, because this is a counter trend and looks like I've got a strong downtrend, I'm ready at the ready here. Whoops. And what did I do here? Now see this here, I've gone to break even plus 1 tick, and I've now hit the major EMA. I now lock in, I go to lock in 3 ticks, and did I get 3 ticks? Yes, I did. So I picked up 3 ticks out of that move. Now that's 37.50 per contract, better than a poke in the eye with a blunt stick, as I say. Now what can you see with your EMAs here? They're in a downtrend. Now what I'm doing is, once again, I'm looking at that higher time frame, and that is going to tell me where to take the trade. Now I could with a 0 offset on the 16H, by the way, members, we could already be in this, but I would prefer to wait in this case for my anchor chart, and I won't get filled until I'm down here. And if it reverses, it reverses, and I'll look for another setup. Now there we are, I'm in this trade. Now note down here I've got the low of day. See how my target is on the other side. I've got an 8 tick target, so I'm just 1 or 2 ticks on the other side, but I've already hit it there. I've now got a new lower high. Good chance I'll keep stepping down here. Now once again, this is a 5% return on your capital with no more than it, and that's the important thing. You never ever risk more than 2% of your account in a trade. Look, I think of the billionaire hedge fund manager Larry Hite. As he said, he only risks 1%, as do I, by the way, but most traders will run on 2 as a maximum. But as Larry Hite says, by risking only 1% per trade, he can be indifferent to any trade he takes. Basically, he's then a fearless trader trading fearless money. So as you build your account, you lower your risk, but on average, if you've got a smaller account, you'll risk 2%. Now, if you don't have the money, and I nearly forgot to mention this, there's so many great prop firms around now, you can use their capital. And in my membership area, I've got a huge amount now. We've got some big money earners with prop firms using these strategies, by the way, where basically for a couple of $100 you can get underway and be trading $50,000 or $100,000. Just note here, my target, I'm bringing my stop down. Either way, now I'm going to pick up a couple of ticks out of this. I expect to push through. Now see how I've tagged my target. Now I get filled. Okay, so let's just move this along. Now here I've taken another entry. Note my stop is above, just here, and I actually made an error on this one. So for members, I didn't wait for the anchor chart, short-term stochastic hook up here, which is something I'll do with deeper pullbacks most of the time. And I actually took a bit of heat down here, and I was thinking crumbs, and I think that's why I wrote it in. Oh, there it is there. So we're about to let's see, head down here. Now remember, my stop is 1 tick above, my target is well below, just here. This is trade number 4, okay, and my target is 325 or 3,250. Just notice here. Now see, I've got the pivot down below. Now there's no guarantee we're going to hit the pivot down here. Okay, so I'm just waiting to see what happens. Now what I will do sometimes is, say if I've only got another $500 to hit my target, you'll see me bring it up and just get in and get out. I just like to have my target. I'm happy to finish for the day, and we'll go to the charts and we'll just see what happens straight after this. Was this just a fluke? Well, I've just shown you what happened every day thereafter, because there's set trading conditions I'm waiting for, traders. That is the secret to my trading. We're waiting for set trading conditions to be met. Okay, so here I can't remember what happened with the pivot. If we hit it, now I'm locking profit in, because I also know that with that there, now I've hit my target. Okay, now let's just quickly go to the chart, by the way, and have a look at this. Where are we here? So these were the trades just here, okay, that we had. Now just beforehand, okay, there was one just here. See this one back here. Well, what if we had taken that one? Why didn't you take that? Well, I want to wait for a 𝗵𝗱𝗱𝗏. When we have very deep retracements, see how flat we are here. These are danger zones, traders. See how flat we are there. So I'm waiting for a specific thing to happen on my charts to confirm the move. But here, these are all legitimate trades. Now if you had sold here, what's down below? Major EMAs. We expect a bounce, traders. You always want to expect a bounce. Now we just whiz along here. Okay, here if you had sold down into the pivot here, now what have we sold here? No, something was happening on the anchor chart 1, but after that then there were a heap of great trades after that as well. Okay, now did we get through? Now see this just here. See how we bought into the pivot and we bounce? Whenever you buy or sell into a pivot, if you had have taken this trade, and this is one we wouldn't have wanted to take, it's because we bounce off, and see how many times you bounce off that pivot. Okay, now let's just quickly, as we finish up, just quickly go to what's happening right now. So this is the trade I took over here on the 1 tick. Okay, now let me go to the 1 tick, and if you've never heard of trading the 1 tick Renko, the huge advantage of trading the 1 tick, if it's very slow, 6 ticks is $75, and to net $200 a contract, you only need $4,000. That's a 5% return per day on your capital. Within 10-12 weeks, there's your 10 grand a week for the young guns. Now this one here, this was 956, so I'll then after this session go and do some more trading here. Now it's probably picking up, so we'll go back to the 2 tick, but this is on the 1 tick here. Now you just got to watch time of day. Now it's now 1:05 a.m. Central Standard Time, so in 55 minutes we have the London Open. Now that's where everything changes. Okay, that is where the 1 tick is usually quite difficult to trade. Now if we look at the 1 tick just there, and let me go, oh look, no, we're already past half now. It's going to show you a few things, but let's just jump ahead to the 2 tick Renko, which is what I'd be trading now. Okay, so just there you have you had a setup there. Your next setup is not till here to go long, and I'll tell you, look, let me just quickly do this. Let me just minimize this, because, and let me go to the 4 tick, which is my anchor chart 1, and let me just do this. Okay, yep, so my next trade was not until right there. Now this is where, remember before I said following the trade line here, see how it's all the way down, it's pointing down. See how it's now reversed. I've now got a higher low in the direction of my higher time frame. Okay, it's one of the simplest concepts, and it kicks butt. And up there, by the way, we've got a major divergence trade has just set up, so you can see where we're live right now. But the important thing to point out is that trade line just here. For an example, let me just pull up, I run an intensive group with 12 traders in it, and one of the traders today, I was talking to him about the trade line, and let me just show you what he said. So this is the 1 page, or just part of it. So my sessions, this is a 1 hour session, and just down here, this is what Hugh said. Yeah, Ray, can I make a quick comment on that? I was talking about we're just going through trade by trade, what we call a 16-13, something I trade a lot. It's very effective. Basically, if you can see the one, this is the time where it was pointing out some setups on the chart. It's a 16, you get the pullback, doesn't change color. It's a very strong signal, very high probability to take the, particularly when the AC1 confirms a trade, and that's your classic, my classic, that's a real classic 16-13. So a 16-13 is where we've got a trade in the direction of the higher time frame, and it's very hard to go wrong, because what you're doing is trading in the direction of the flow of a river, little retracements, profit taking back in the direction. Now I could spend hours talking about this. Of course, that is my job, teaching traders. So traders, once again, why don't you come and join me for $297? You get everything that you've seen, lifetime access to the members area. Even if you're brand new, you also get my new program for brand new traders, as well as the advanced program. Plus you get 8 live sessions, 2 hours of coaching. We have a couple of hundred traders, but you can actually type questions. Most traders sit back quietly, so you can type in questions as I'm going through step by step how to trade my setups. Come and join me. I'll see you on my next video. Thank you, traders.